Hi there! Don't mind me, I was just reading this book about sewing your own adorable little doggo, because apparently there are crafts other than crochet. Who knew? I have my cousin to thank for giving me this book, although it's more like a magazine, because she thought I would enjoy it. And I am going to, just not in the way that she intended. I think it would be a pretty cool crochet challenge to take one of these doggo designs that is intended to be created from felt and make a crochet version. The only problem is going to be, which doggo do I choose? How do you pick one? The eternal struggle when all doggos are the best doggos. I thought we would start off by looking through the book together first. So give me a sec to get set up here so you guys can see what's happening. I think we can all see that, right? Let me open the page. So this is what the book is called, 50 Dogs to Stitch. So we're just going to have a squiz at this one and see what doggo we would like to crochet. Let's see what we're working with here. Plenty of options to choose from. Well, we knew that from the front cover because it says 50 dogs. Thinkly. So we've got terriers, toy breeds, utility dogs, pastoral dogs, working dogs, gun dogs, and hounds. So essentially what I'm planning to do is, in the place of the felt, which makes up all the body parts, I'm going to crochet my own pieces. So as you can see here, so we're looking at the Jack Russell Terrier. Had plenty of those when I was a kid, but you get like a little template and you would usually cut the felt to that size and then put the pieces together. And I am instead going to crochet, I'm going to design something to match the shape of these pieces, and then I will sew those together. Oh, a little Yorkie, they're cute. Border Terrier. He looks a bit startled, that one. And it's cute. There are so many cute dogs. So many cute dogs. Pug. Oh, that's adorable. That is adorable. Can you guys see that properly? That is so cute. See, I love pugs. There's a lot of breeds I love in theory, but in reality I would never get one, just because I absolutely loathe. It makes me volcanic with rage what we as humans have done to purebred dogs. How they were bred for specific aesthetics, and then those limits kept getting pushed, and it was all about what the dogs looked like, with no regard for the physical or genetic health of these poor bloody creatures. And I can't stand it. And this is the internet, so I better have the caveat, I know not all breeders are like that, and not all purebred dog breeders are like that, but when you see poor dogs who they can't breathe properly, or they have skin issues, or their skulls are too small to fit their brains properly, or they can't even give birth naturally, it makes me sick. It makes me sick. This is your PSA. Adopt, don't shop. I guess that put a bit of a downer on the start of the video, didn't it? But yeah, I can't stand breeding like that, where you prioritize what the dogs look like rather than their health. No, never be on board with that. And like German Shepherds are a good example. When you see them with like their frog back legs and they can hardly move, it makes me want to scream and cry. But I gotta stop because I'll upset myself. We're just looking at cute craft dogs today. Cute craft dogs. I just want to focus on that. How do I pick one? How do I just pick one? I'm honestly thinking of doing the pug. I think that was really cute. I liked its little face. Where was that? Right here. I mean, look at that. That's adorable. This little smile. And also I get to do a bit of like stitch work. Well, I get to attempt a little bit of stitch work here on the head, a bit on the back and the tail. So yeah, I think I might give that a go. So now that I know what I want to crochet, I'm going to grab myself some yarn. I'm only going to need the 3 colours. I'll need some cream, some light brown and some black. Bit of bad news, I have the cream, I have the light brown, but I just remembered as I went to get my yarn from my shelf that I actually used up my last bit of black 8-ply the other day, so I will need to order some more. I can always use like a darker brown or a grey because I just need a little bit for the nose. It's not that big a deal. This is what we're going to be making, but these on this side are the templates we're going to be using. I might start off with the body piece first, and looking at the shape that I need, I'm probably going to crochet each of the legs separately, then crochet them together, chaining in between to give me these gaps. Then I'll crochet, I think, up the rest of the body, and then add the tail section last. It's a plan, that's what I'm going with. Next question, how many do I chain? I'm thinking I'll make these pieces a little bit bigger than they're presented here, because these are fairly small, and I could do that, but I'd rather give myself a little bit more room to work. 3, 4, I might go 6, 5 and 6, and then I'll crochet down. And then rotating my work and going back down the other side, I'll just reverse what I did. So I'm going to do another increase and then single crochet down the rest of the chain. How does that match up? That's about the right size for the template as is, but I think I want to make it a little bit bigger. So I'm going to add one more row. And I'm pretty much going to do what I did before. I'll single crochet my way down, I'll increase at the top here, and then single crochet my way back up. And there is my first leg complete. Yep, it's a little bit bigger than the template, but that's what I wanted. I guess now I just make 3 more of those. Well, there's my 4 legs, and if I arrange them as the template sort of indicates, I'm going to have one there. There's probably a chain 2 or 3 gap between those 2 legs, so put that there. Then there's a larger gap between the second and the third leg, and then the third and fourth leg are closer than leg 1 and 2. So if I lay them out like that, and then join my yarn here, I can crochet my way across, adding chains between or in the gaps, and then I'll just continue crocheting back and forth. That's how I'm going to do the body. Will it work? There's only one way to find out. Starting with the first leg, I'll join my yarn, and I'll probably do 5 single crochet across these, 1 in the end of each row on either side, and then 1 right in the middle of the chain there. And then, what do you reckon? Maybe chain 2 between the first 2 legs. 1 and 2. And then I'm going to crochet my way across this one, doing 5 single crochet across again. 1. And then between the second and third leg, maybe 5. I'll start with 5, but I might need to add a couple more. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's see how that would look. No, I definitely need a couple more there. We'll try 6 and 7. I think that's better. There's definitely a gap there, but it's not too small, it's not too large. I think that's just right. So now I'll have to single crochet across this leg for another 5 single crochet. And for the final leg, I think I'm actually going to crochet directly into that from the last or the third leg here, because you look at that gap, that's tiny. I mean, I could do one chain, but I don't think it's really worth it. I think I'll just crochet straight across the leg. And that should give me 29 stitches in my round. There's 4 legs of 5 single crochet across the top, 20, then 7, then 2, yeah, 29. I've always got to triple check my maths. I'm not very good at maths. So that's my starting point. From here, I just want to crochet up until I've reached the correct height, but on this left side here, I will be using some single crochet 2-togethers to give me that curve. I'm not going to crochet the tail directly off of the body piece. I think I'll crochet that separately and then sew it on. I might do a couple of rows of just single crochet first because the curve doesn't really start, or it's more pronounced here towards the top. I've just crocheted row 6, and row 6 is where I've put my first single crochet 2 together. So I did 5 rows of just back and forth crochet, and at this point I want to start to curve the bum a little bit. So I'm doing this bit here. How long I'm going to continue this for, I don't know, because even though I've got a template, I'm still sort of making things up as I go along. So I think my best bet is just going to be to crochet back and forth until the body piece reaches a height I'm happy with. I don't think that looks too bad. I mean, at the moment it kind of looks like a pug that was drawn by like a 3-year-old, but hopefully it'll look a bit better as it comes together. But yeah, definitely tail next. I was going to do the head, but I think because the tail is technically sort of part of the body template, I will do that. And for this, we'll start off with a magic circle, but then we'll work in rows to give us that semicircle shape. That's what I've got so far, but as you can see on the template, the tail's not like perfectly rounded, so I think I'll do one more row and throw in some half double crochet and possibly even double crochet at the top here, just to give it a more asymmetrical shape. There we go. It's not as symmetrical now, but I am worried it's going to be too big. So let's line it up with the body. One issue is in the template here, you can see the bottom, the sides narrow down a little bit, narrow inwards, which I don't have that here, but I think I can still make that work. Even if I have to change up the stitching here, I can make it so it looks like the tail is curved in on itself like that way. I can't really explain what I mean, but I can picture it in my head. You guys just can't see it. Finishing off the tail has completed the body template. There is our side-by-side comparison. And I think the next piece I want to do is the head, which is this one here. And I think that's actually the final piece that I will need the cream yarn for. All the other smaller ones are in either brown or black in the case of the nose, although I should say that's probably going to be dark grey or something, seeing as I don't have black. But with the head, that should be fairly straightforward. I'm just going to chain, I will increase out, then I will decrease down, increase back out, and pretty much crochet back and forth in rows. There is a subtle curve here, so I might start to decrease a little bit towards the top. that is the decreases done, and I think that matches the picture fairly well. The proportions are a bit larger than it is here, but then again, I've made the whole pattern larger so far, so that may not be a bad thing. But now I'll need to increase back out, and I want the top section of the head here to be slightly wider than I've made the bottom section. I think that looks pretty accurate. I'm debating whether or not I should add one more row. But to be honest, I don't really think I need it, because if you look at how far the body sticks up, not that body, the head, if you look at how far the head sticks up over the body here, I mean, that's fairly accurate. I've got the bottom of the head in a similar position as well. And yeah, I think that's okay, because we do need to add the ears. No, I'm happy with that. I think we'll be keeping it. So I can finish off with that. And I think, looking back at my templates, I no longer need the cream yarn. I can instead bring in the brown. And the first piece I will crochet in that will be the muzzle. I think I might leave it there for now. I could probably go one row out further, because if you look at the picture here, the sides of the oval are almost flush against the outside of the head, but there's quite a bit of space between the top of the muzzle and the top of the head, and if I go another round taller, it's going to reduce the amount of space here, and I don't really want to do that. So I'm fine with there being a little bit of extra space on the sides here. In this case, I will need to leave a yarn tail for sewing, because all my other parts so far are ones that will need second pieces crocheted, and then I will crochet those together, but not the case for the muzzle. And I just got yarn in my mouth. Yummy. Next, I'm going to try and do the eye pieces. To be honest, I'm kind of thinking I might do something similar to how I crocheted the tail, because if you look at the template, there's sort of like there's a little tab, which I'm assuming is like the seam allowance for sewing. If we just take the shape itself that we need, that's kind of a semicircle. It's certainly straighter on one edge, there's a sharper angle here, but it's roughly semicircle shaped, and I think I can do what I did with the tail piece and throw in a couple of stitches other than single crochet to give it a slightly different shape. I mean, that's one way to approach it. I could just work it in rows as well, but I've worked in sort of horizontal back and forth rows for a lot of these pieces, and I just want to try something a little bit different. So that is what I'm going to do. And I need to also make sure I get these eye pieces the right size, because I want to be able to fit the safety eyes on them without covering too much of it, but also because the muzzle's a little bit taller than it is in the picture, there's not a heap of room to work with. You know what, I think that's fine actually, because that will just go under there, but then I'll have room for the safety eye. So it's not quite the same shape as this, but I think it works in this crochet form. I know I said I wasn't going to crochet duplicates now, but I will for this piece, just because A, it is a small pattern, very small and quick to work up, but I want to reverse what I just did, and I don't want to forget that, because if I leave this till another day, I will. So I started off that time with single crochet first, and then I did half double crochet. So for this one, because we're going to go on the opposite side, I will start with half double crochet and then do the single crochet. So if I now put them both there, roughly where they're going to belong, I think that works. That works. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So that is, let's have a look what we need to crochet. I've done the muzzle, I've done the face, I have done the legs, the body, the tail, done the eyes. So I've just got to do the ears and the nose. I'll do the ears next because I'll still need my brown yarn for that. That is not what I wanted to grab. Go back there, please. Thank you. How am I going to do the ears? I was thinking of doing them similarly to how I did the legs, but I think given that it's got a much sharper curve here, that might be easier to achieve if I just crochet in rows. So we'll start from the bottom here where it's horizontal, flat and horizontal. Now we're going to start with the curve, so I'll decrease here but increase here. And then if I hold that up to here, yeah, that's good. So if I just decrease down twice or single crochet two together twice, that might not be narrow enough. I might need to single crochet two together again. Actually, what do you guys reckon? I mean, it's not a sharp point by any stretch. You know what? That's probably fine. That's probably fine. Have another look-see over here, and comparing that to that, I reckon we're spot on. And that is the ear done. So at this stage, I just really need to crochet the nose. And I'll be doing that, I'll use my dark grey yarn because, as I said, I ran out of my 8 ply black just a couple of days ago actually. And you know what, we'll do a magic circle triangle if I can remember how to do this. Is that going to be too big? No, I think that's perfectly fine. Excellent work, everyone. Okay, I'll need a tail to sew that on as well. I think we have all the bits we need at this stage. I've crocheted one muzzle, which is all I need, one headpiece, one ear, one tail, body and legs, two eyepieces and the nose. Okay, I am all set at this stage. I will be crocheting the duplicate pieces, but I'll probably do that tomorrow because I don't want to overdo it at the moment. I need to have a break, I need to have a stretch. So I will bring you guys back then and we can finish this off. And if I have enough time, we'll assemble it as well. I'm really kind of happy with how the pug is coming along. I didn't expect to be able to get it quite so accurate. So that's a nice surprise.
The next day.
Hello there, welcome to day 2. So yesterday we crocheted this is not a good idea, all of these pieces, and today I just want to finish up by crocheting all the pieces that need duplicates. So I'll make a second body, a second tail, a second head and a second ear. I don't need to worry about the eye because we did that yesterday, that small little piece, that's why I did it then. But yeah, I need to crochet myself those, and I'll wait until they're all crocheted, and at that point I will decide if I'm going to assemble this today as well, because it's been kind of a bad pain week so far, and I'm being a little bit cautious about overdoing things. Crochet first, and then we can make that determination. my duplicate pieces now, and I'm definitely going to wait till tomorrow to put this thing together, just because even though these pieces aren't really that big, I found myself having to take frequent breaks. So I think I'll take that as my sign to finish this off tomorrow, but that's okay. And it also gives me a chance to think about how I want to construct this, because obviously this is crochet and not the felt in the book that needs to be sewed together. There's going to be a few little differences. For the most part, I'm just going to single crochet my pieces together around the edge, but there are some that are going to require sewing. The bit that's kind of tripping me up is the ears and the head, because I'll need to join the two head pieces together. Hang on, my yarn's all tangled here. I'll need to join those together, so the front and the back, but the ears sit between those, like so, and then they flop over the top. But if my plan is to single crochet around the edge, that's not really going to work for the ear section. So do I crochet up to the ear, then sew that in, and then continue crocheting? I don't know. That's why it's a good thing I have a chance to think about this. So put my thinking cap on for all the good that will do at the moment, and then I'll come up with something and we can finish this off tomorrow. Welcome to day 3, the assembly stage. That is literally all we have left to do. So let's dive straight in. I'm pretty sure I have everything I need to get me started. I've got all my pieces. I grabbed out some safety eyes, and I have the yarn and my hooks, needles, all that good stuff. So let's go. There's obviously going to be 2 distinct sections to this pattern. There is the body part and the head part, and I'll just assemble those separately and then we can join them together at the end. So I'll separate out all the pieces I need. So all the head pieces can go over here, which will be these and these. It's pretty much everything except the body pieces and the tail pieces. I first need to attach the tail to the body, and I'm not going to crochet that on, I'm going to sew that on. Right, before I do any sewing, I'm going to weave in these ends, because otherwise they're just going to get in the way. Ends are secured. Now they won't get in my bloody way, but I can sew them to the body pieces. I just need to be careful that I sew them to the same stitches. So if I start at row, I don't know, I can't remember what it was, but let's say for example it was row 20. Let's say I start at row 20, I need to make sure that I match up this second tail in the same way. I think I might have put the tail a little bit higher than it was in the book. Maybe I should have opened that so I had a guide to follow. Well, why would I do something clever like that? It's not exact, but it's not so bad that I'm going to unpick my stitches and redo it. I think it's fine the way it is. Now, if I line those up, we should be good. Okay, that works. Next step for the body, you know what, I actually like that piece better. You're going to be the front. Now I'm going to single crochet around the outside edge of these 2 pieces, joining them together. When I get to the end here, I'm going to add a little bit of stuffing. I don't want to make this too bulky, so I'm just going to lightly stuff it. And that will be it for the body really, because we don't have any more pieces to add to it. Most of the detail goes into the head. Body finished. Now I'm going to turn my attention to the headpiece. I think for the headpiece, what I will do, rather than sewing the 2 headpieces together first, is attach all these pieces, so the muzzle the eyes, add the safety eyes, sew down the nose. I will attach all those things first before I sew the front of the head to the back. And I think what I will start with is the muzzle piece, because I can partially sew that down so those stitches will hold it in position, and then when I get to the top here where the eyes need to be, I will then stop sewing the muzzle and start sewing those down as well, and when they're in place then I'll finish sewing the muzzle. Yeah, that's probably going to be the easiest way I can line up the eye pieces correctly. Wrong end of the needle, Lee. That looks kind of creepy. Yeah, creepy is the word I would use. I'm just hoping it's because it's unfinished. I was thinking about bumping up the eye size, but like they're not that big. The size seems about the same. So I think I'm going to leave it for now, even if it does look creepy. Now that I have constructed the face, I will begin to crochet the two head pieces together. I'm going to start from the top left corner here, make my way down across the bottom, back up the other side. So that's going to leave the top open and it will leave room for the ears. I still don't know how I want to approach this. Maybe once these two pieces are joined, or at least joined along the bottom here, I can place the ears, because the final row of the ears here, or actually I think that's the foundation chain, but that has 4 chains or 4 stitches across. So if I leave 4 stitches on either end, 1, 2, 3, 4, and if I leave this space here as a gap, I can then crochet together the stitches in between and then just sew the ears in. Because I'm not sure how else to do it. I could sew the ears to the backs of the stitches here, but that could work. In fact, maybe if I sew them to the back piece. No, that's not going to work either. You know what? I'll just do it the way I originally said. Both the head and the body are now finished. It actually turned out cuter than I thought it would. I might need to sew those ears down because they're flapping all over the place at the moment. And the joining method I used, it did actually work out, so I'm happy about that. But now I need to sew these two pieces together, and when that's done, I've just got to add the details. I may not be able to add them exactly as they are sort of portrayed in this image here, just because, you know, the sizes, the proportions of my pug are a little bit different to the one pictured, but I will do my best to replicate them. I really need to sew those ears down. They look kind of hilarious when they're sticking up like that. Check it out. We're almost finished. All I have to do now is add the details. Let us start with, what should I start with? I might start with the brown yarn. I mean, not that there's many choices. It's the brown or the grey. reveal time. One thing I can say is I definitely need to work on my embroidery skills. I don't use embroidery all that often, and even when I do, it's usually just for like an eyebrow or a little mouth or something like that. Doing details like these is not something that I'm really accustomed to. So yeah, that could use a little bit of work, but overall, I think this turned out pretty cute, and it's not actually that far off from the original felt pug. Or at least it's close enough that I'm not going to complain about it. I'm happy with my results. What do you guys think? Can you even see that? It might be a little bit overexposed there, but what do we think? I think that's a solid 6 or 7 out of 10. And it was actually a good learning experience because aside from one instance that I can think of where I made a cube octopus out of flat pieces, I've never really done anything like this. I don't think I liked it enough to continue making plushies out of flat crochet pieces, but I enjoyed the process, and I'm glad that I did it. And now I have a cute pug that I can keep in my room. So I don't have to get a real pug. Not that I would ever get a real pug, but you don't really need to hear me rant about the ethics of pure breeding again. So I'm going to call it there for today. Let me know what you thought of the pug. Even though I'm probably not going to do any more flat pieces like this, at least for a while at least, I do think a fun challenge could be to choose a dog from this book, and instead of crocheting it as I did here, making a like proper amigurumi piece like in the round. So if you have a specific dog breed you would like to see transformed into an amigurumi, let me know which one you would pick. Before we wrap up entirely though, there is one last thing we need to do, and that is... And today's featured creator on the hookup is Sai's Crafty Creations. I think it's pronounced Sai. If it's not, I apologize and correct me in the comments. But she says, I make craft related YouTube content and I'm currently working on opening a fiber arts shop. So please go and check out Sai's YouTube channel and give her a subscribe. Check out her fiber arts shop. There is a link for that as well as all her other links down in the description. Also in the description is a link to a Google form if you would like to apply for the hookup for yourself. Thank you all very much for watching. Thank you to my patrons for your amazing support. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Like the video if you enjoyed it, share it if you think it's worth sharing, and I will see you all in the next one.